with a real-time update. This is our second week in a row with a real-time update. We wanted to let you know and keep you updated on what's going on in our world and to give you some tips today. We have had a couple adventures the last 2 times we've traveled. Adventures?
Let's go with adventures.
Events?
Fun?
Fun? One of those. When you travel days need to be uneventful. We have not had uneventful travel days the last 2 times we've traveled with our rig, and so we wanted to help bring you a couple tips.
Whenever everything is breaking,
like this,
like this,
and this,
like this, we hope these tips really help you out and maybe let you just take a step back and think through these. So if you don't have a notepad or paper with you or anything like that, we'll try to put them right here on the screen. Let's go ahead and start with number 1.
So the first tip for you today is to breathe. I know it sounds very simple, but it's something we often don't remember to do. And 3 deep breaths can go a really long way. And there is actually some scientific stuff to go along with it. So let's pretend this is your brain. When big eventful things happen, we tend to jump down into our brainstem. And that is not where we do our most logical thinking. Our logical thinking is up here in our frontal cortex, and taking a couple deep breaths, typically 3 is the number to do, will get you thinking back in your frontal cortex to make wise decisions and to calm down and not maybe freak out on your kids or your spouse, because both can happen real quick in a hurry when you are in a stressful situation.
All right, tip number 2 on how to keep your cool is escape. Now, what do I mean by escape? I mean, try to get yourself out of any situation that's making it more stressful, okay? Great example. So, on the drive here to this church is whenever we came with this problem. We had some wheel studs that decided to snap off, and we lost some of our studs going down the highway. Great fun. Had a lot of shaking in the front end, everything. Had to pull over on the side of the interstate. Now, of course, I have vehicles going 80, 85, 75, however much, going right past me and everything. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to get us back on the road. Now, not the greatest situation. So, what I did was I went through and I tightened the remaining wheel lug nuts that we had on this side, because the same thing happened on the other side of the truck on the way here as well, which in the end, great fun. But what we did is I tightened the lug nuts just long enough for us to get to the next exit and get off the highway. All of the cars, the kids being trapped in the back seat still, just everything was still up in the air. We wasn't even really sure exactly why the studs were broke off or anything like that. So nobody was able to think clearly. So we escaped. We got out of a situation that was making everything way more stressful and more dangerous. That was staying on the side of an interstate. So we made it to the next exit, pulled off, find us a nice big open parking lot where we could sit and take the time to actually think through what was our best logical next step. So now that we've made it here, I have new wheel studs on order. They'll be here in the morning, and we'll be able to replace all of these and move on with life. So again, tip number 2, escape.
Our third tip today is to stop and pray. Stop what you're doing, go to the Lord. Give Him your worries, give Him your stress, and just take a breath, like I said earlier, and pray to Jesus and receive the peace that can come from talking to Jesus and knowing that He has your back and that He's in control and that He can get you through.
And finally, tip number 4, the Word. If you're a believer, try and get some verse that really speaks to you, especially in times of stress, anxiety, fear, whatever, right? Especially when times like we've had these last couple weeks where it just seems like one thing after another breaks or goes wrong, or you hit some kind of wall, or something doesn't work out, whether it be disappointment, anything like that. Get the Word of God in you. Get it in you to where you can just access it quickly. The Spirit can just bring that to your remembrance, and you can pull that out and immediately find comfort in that. If you're needing one specifically, let me give you one. Proverbs 12, verse 24. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. Now, this might not be one specifically that you have thought about before, but what I really like about this one is the community aspect of it. Because whenever we're talking about a good word, it's word lowercase, okay? This is not necessarily speaking about like the word of God or anything like that, even though, you know, you could get there. But this could easily be talking about a community, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, someone you can count on, okay? So if anxiety is really wearing you down, don't isolate yourself. Don't think to yourself, I'm all alone in this. See, whenever we've been going through all of these troubles we've been having with, you know, the truck and the camper and everything these last couple weeks, we've really seen a lot of our brothers and sisters come alongside us and offer words of encouragement and really just step up to the bat for us. And in a lot of ways, that's what we're talking about here in Proverbs 12:25. A good word. A good word. So, let me leave you with this. Is there any way that you think that you could encourage someone else that is having maybe a rough go at it? Maybe you know someone else that has been traveling around and, you know, they're broken down, whatever like that. Maybe just something as simple as a quick text, message, anything like that. Something maybe a little bit more than just a simple, you know, like on a Facebook, but an actual comment message, reaching out to them. Just give them a good word. Give them a good word of encouragement. So now, why do I say that this is a tip for whenever things are going crazy? Because it's something to keep in mind. Because when things were going crazy for us, knowing that a good word is really going to make us glad, when people actually tried to do that, we accepted it. We accepted that good word. When people say, you know, hey man, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. We're here with you. You know, because it's just as easy to dismiss those kind of things. But if you're ready for it and you're willing to accept it, you can say, yeah, you know what? Thank you. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. But wait, hold on. We're not done. Stick around. We've actually got a bonus tip from a special guest. So here we go. Tip number 5.
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm with Chasing the Joneses, and we came on board to give you the bonus tip, which is do not panic. Whenever there's an emergency or something like happens, the worst thing you can do is panic. Take your time, take a deep breath, relax, so that you can understand what's going on and you can figure out a way to get it fixed.
These are some things in our travels and in our daily life that we try to make a habit of when things get rough, when things don't go as planned, and when life throws you curveballs. We don't always get it right, and life isn't always fun in those times, but it's what you do and how you glorify God and how God gets glorified through our struggles. As you can see, our home is still a wreck because we landed in our parking spot last night at 2 a.m. and we're a little exhausted. But we're making the most of it. We went to church today anyways and give God the glory, and we will hopefully get a good night's rest tonight. And we hope you can continue following along. We hope to meet you one day down the road. We are on Facebook and Instagram, and we have a website if you want to connect that way. We'd love to hear from you and learn about your struggles and what you do to make the most of it.
The number 5 bonus tip that we have, and that is to not get, I forgot.